Hey guys, just wanted to tell the truth, get some truth out there. You know, the news is um, regurgitating talking points that they know nothing about. I wish they would tell the truth about the opioid crisis. I really do. I mean, stop regurgitating talking points that make no sense at all, okay? This is a complex problem. And it's really stupid and it's designed to confuse people. Okay? They're trying to cover up the fact that the best opium in the world comes from Afghanistan, comes from Iran, comes from the Mediterranean countries. Okay? The strongest, most potent opium comes from around the Mediterranean Sea. And that's why we're over there. Our troops are over there because they are guarding the opium and they are overseeing the transport. They go on planes to Saudi Arabia and then they come into the U.S. for pharmaceutical operations. So if they really want to get to the truth, they would, start telling the truth. Instead, you know, they're attacking the pharmaceutical companies who are doing, paying fines, which is not going to fix the problem. You know, what I'll tell you what will fix the problem. What will fix the problem is to tell the truth that opium does work as far as pain goes, and that's why it's so heavily guarded, and that's why it's essentially the most important plant in medicine. If you're sick, if you have cancer, if you're dying and you're in a lot of pain, trust me, you're going to want readily available opioids as a last option when you're on your deathbed. And I wish the media would tell the truth about that. Instead, what they're doing is they're regurgitating talking points, telling the world that the pharmaceutical companies are bad, the pharmaceutical companies are evil. It's just a stupid, watered down knee-jerk reaction that nobody understands and that people are getting behind, and they don't understand the complexity of it. The fact that this drug kills pain with very few side effects. The only side effects that opioids really have on your body is the addiction part. Opioids don't destroy your stomach. They don't hurt your internal organs like alcohol does, right? For instance. Now, if anybody took 2 hours out of their day, they could Google what exactly opium is and do their own research and come to their own conclusion. The thing is the opium plant's been around for thousands of years. Natives have used it for thousands of years. The Chinese were the first ones to use it thousands of years ago. And they realized that, hey, it kills pain. And they would have Chinese opium dens. Well, what happened was the Chinese government, the communists, realized, hey, this is probably the most important plant in medicine. We need to outlaw it, and we need to regulate it. We need to control it. So that's what they did. The Chinese were the first ones to outlaw opium. The first government in recorded history to outlaw opium. And this created a massive black market. So people started growing it illegally. They would hide in these Chinese opium dens, and they would just spend all their time in there. And this was the first known opioid epidemic. Now, this was thousands of years ago, before America ever existed. So, this is the most important plant in medicine. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to want something to kill the pain. Cancer patients need it. This is people who suffer from chronic diseases benefit from it. And instead, we're demonizing it as if it were something new, right? As if it never existed before. We're demonizing it and we're blaming people. We're blaming companies. But we're not doing anything about it. You see, we're asking for money and that's it. Well, that doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't solve the problem. I'm not one of these people who thinks the pharmaceutical industry is bad. I'm not one of these people who is just going to hop on one train and take it all the way and go kicking and screaming. Excuse me, I dropped my phone. Kicking and screaming and point my finger. I'm not one of those people. I have more depth than that. I can read. Okay? Opium will be around no matter if the DEA controls it, if the army controls it, government controls it, or if the farmers control it. It will always be around. It's a common plant. It's a very common plant, and it's been around for thousands of years. And it kills pain. It's a painkiller. So it has medical uses, and the fact that these people regurgitate these shitty talking points day in and day out, it's a slap in the face to everyday Americans who are being touted as imbeciles, that they can't do their own research, they're not smart enough. We're all victims, right? None of us made bad choices or the wrong choice. It's always somebody else's fault, right? Always somebody else's fault. So, if your son or daughter died from opiate addiction, it's a terrible, terrible disease. And there is really no cure for it. And I feel like there's a straw man. There's angry people out there and they want answers. But I don't know if it's coming from the heart or if it's just, if it's coming from a place of greed or if it's coming from a place of love. I don't know that. It sounds like it's just people that want money. And the thing is okay, you can sue all you want and ask for all the money you want, but that's not going to solve the problem. I mean, it's ridiculous. If you want to solve the problem, inform your population about what exactly an opioid is. And instead, we're being lied to on a daily basis. We're being lied to on a daily basis by a media that regurgitates 3 words, the opioid crisis, with no complexity, no depth. There's no reasonability. There's no subjective truth. That it's one-sided crap. It's not, the whole story. They don't want to report on it. They don't want people to understand the complexity that is opioids in the 21st century. Instead, they just want to sue, go around suing. Well, that's fine. You can do that, and you can get some money, and you can live high on the hog. That's fine, but that's not going to make you feel better. Okay? For those victims out there that lost their kids, I understand you want a straw man. You want money. You're angry. You want to sue, but just know if you want to make a difference, that's not going to make a difference. Suing somebody is not going to make a difference. If you want to understand the complexity of a topic such as the opioid crisis, you need to do some research and understand what the hell you're crying about, what you're whining and bitching about. People die. That's just what happens. And whether they die from a horrendous car accident that kills them instantly, or they suffer slowly underneath a crane or underneath a shipping container that fell 10 stories and landed on them. I don't know, whatever. They still in the end die anyway. What opiates do is they kill pain for people who are suffering, but they also are addictive. So tell the truth, media, please. When you are regurgitating these talking points, you owe it to the victims and you owe it to the people who have lost loved ones. And you also owe it to the people who benefit, because they're beneficiaries of opiates. And there's plenty of people who benefit from hydrocodone and oxycodone their needs are not being addressed. It just makes me angry. The more I think about it, the more I get angry. Tell the truth about what's going on, about the U.S. military's involvement in the opioid crisis, in the government's involvement in the opioid crisis. Tell the truth, please. That's all. Thank you.